finally, the entrance of the night, the award goes to
Fireworks display.
the fireworks display at Burns, the Bulldogs. Check it out.
Pretty cool.
That's impressive, Tom.
I liked it. I didn't expect it. That was pretty
That's
cool, man.
impressive.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. You guys saw a little bit.
The craziest one I've seen is Alexander County, which has a motorcycle, parade that goes around the track.
And
before
with
the
that,
game.
I believe, JP, we got a phone call. We have Coach Devine, who ran through, and I guess he's lit the fireworks last night. Here at the start of the game, Tom, asked him to lead. Is that him leading the parade?
It's probably I can't tell, but I tell you, fun. I don't know who paid for the fireworks, but I appreciate it. It was a pretty good display there. Make sure we got all our permits for that one. I hope so. Coach Devine, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here. See,
I see your voice is about like mine from yelling in that game last night. Crazy game, 45-38. I think, when I was talking to you and Coach Beaver this week, they got a lot of big guys, and I think their size did create some issues for us. But in the end, we were able to do enough and get the win. Tell us a little bit about what you thought about last night's game.
it was obviously, like you said, it was a crazy game. But I told our kids and told our coaching staff, I thought that's kind of the way it would go because I knew they could move the football and we were going to have trouble at times stopping them. And like I talked to Coach Green yesterday or Wednesday, I think he called me and I told him I was concerned about stopping them, and he said, "Well, you're just going to have to outscore them." So that's basically what happened in a nutshell. And I'm glad our kids kept fighting and didn't quit, and they played their tails off, and East Gadsden's kids played their tails off, and came down to basically who had the ball last. And it was exciting. I hope everybody enjoyed it because it sure was exciting.
Yeah, this Cheryl kid who was their quarterback, the left-handed kid, could really throw some darts. We're watching the highlights of the first touchdown he threw to McKinney, and it just looked like our guys got caught with eyes on the quarterback, and McKinney slipped behind him and takes it in for a touchdown.
Yeah, it's kind of like playing South Point. You get so caught up stopping the run, it puts your safeties in a bind, and we just got caught sleeping right there, and with our eyes in the backfield, and it happens, and you just got to play the next play and forget it happened as a defensive back. So yeah, they called us right there, and nothing you can do about it to keep playing football.
And the other play that seemed to give us a little bit of trouble was that counter play with Stovall that they like to use him on the counter, that they would run right, and then they would run that counter to the left, and we were able to stop it in overtime, but it did set up their go-ahead touchdown late in the game. So I thought it was pretty good execution on their part of disguising what they wanted to do and who was carrying the football.
Yeah, well, I believe the kid you're talking about, he hadn't played since like the first game in the season, and he could have. So we played him when our guys were juniors. He's the same age as our juniors. We played him in JV, and it was about a game like this, and we could remember him. We didn't know if he was going to play or not. And he kind of gave them a third element because they had number 1 and they had number 5, and number 8 can absolutely fly. I know he took a kickoff back against South Point, and he just kind of gave him that third element. And unfortunately, he came back against us. But he can do it, man. He can run.
Now,
and there's some big up front. It's like I told you last week. There's the daggum big up front. It makes it hard up in there. There's foot to foot, and they do a really good job.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about our kids, though. Mooney's day, 4 touchdown passes, only 1 interception. And, of course, his passes to the outside were right on the money. And those I don't think people understand the difficulty of those throws. On the 1 touchdown to Thompson, I think he threw all the way, back across the field. And then he's getting better when he rolls and then throws. And I know that buys him a little bit of time, but he's very good on the rollout. So, I've enjoyed seeing him progressively improving throughout this season.
Yeah, it's been we knew all along that Ben was going to be really good. And, he's just that people don't realize. He's just a sophomore, and he's going to continue to get better. And he did throw some daggum darts last night. I was impressed myself, just standing on the sideline. Like you said, a couple of those touchdowns, he could not have thrown the ball any better. And well, the drive, we should have put them away down there at the end. We had the ball down there at the clock, and we missed that pass to Ryan. And that was a really good throw too. But Ryan just had to spin all the way around, and I think he got him off balance. But yeah, he's and I was talking to one of the paper reporters last night about him running the ball. I mean, Ben's fast. People don't realize, he's a good athlete himself, and he's got some wheels, and we just haven't ran him much. But he did a great job of that last night.
And I was telling up in the booth, I was telling some of the guys I work with that I would have liked to see more than we did. He had the 140-yard run. Seemed like he had a couple of long runs, and as they key on Norris, Norris had 200 yards and a couple of touchdowns by our count. That the better Norris runs, the more that's going to work. I know, last year with Sweezy, I saw you working that in where Sweezy would keep the ball, and I'm seeing the same thing with Mooney. And I think that now you have to account for him. You just can't key on Norris, and you're exactly right. He can run the football and make some plays with his legs.
Yeah, I mean, we noticed their kids early on in the game. They would, whichever side Jeremiah was on, they'd be pointing where he was going or whatnot. So we just kind of countered that with adding Ben more to the running game. You don't want your quarterback running the ball a terrible amount of times, but we run him just enough to keep him honest and not key on Jeremiah so much.
Yeah, and I think that's going to work. And I think that, you made it a good point where you said he had, he's a good athlete. I mean, he can do it. It's just not putting it in there for the sake of putting it in there. I want to say those two runs, he had about 70
Ben's one of our faster kids. I mean, and he does a good job of that.
So moving forward, we've got to get by Cherryville next week. Got to go down there, and then if we're able to get by Cherryville, then you've got the big one with Shelby. So, I know you don't want to get 2 weeks ahead, but I know, Coach, you got to be thinking about that, and that's going to be an exciting matchup, I believe, to see who's going to be the number 1 2A seed from our conference.
Yeah, people didn't realize how important last night was because I knew going into it, East Gaston was a good football team, and basically, you're playing for a right to play in the conference championship Friday night. 2 Friday nights from now or whatever. But Coach, we get, like you said, we got to gear it back down. It's going to be hard to come back from that emotional roller coaster we were on Friday night. Got to come back down to earth and go back to work. And I think a lot of Coach Pruitt over at Cherryville, he does a good job. He's a great guy. So. I know they scored some points on Shelby, which was impressive. So,
yeah,
because Shelby's got a great defense. So, I'm not going to overlook Cherryville because you can't overlook anybody. You got to play the next game. But if we can get through that one, man, it'll be like it was in 2019. There'll be a crowd of people there.
Yeah, I just want to talk about a few of the guys on defense I thought had good games. I think Nick Vinson does a great job of getting in the backfield and disrupting things. Azari Brown, Hunter Davis seem to be around the ball a lot. Your guys on defense, I know they're a little undersized up front, but it seems like they make up for that with some athleticism. And when we get Bonner back here, hopefully in a couple weeks, that'll give us some more size. And I think we're going to be okay on the other side of the ball as well.
Yeah, I never fault our guys' effort. I mean, they play their tails off. So. You can't do anything but your size, so you got to play hard, and our kids do that. And we made some key stops. I was watching the game on film last night. So I didn't realize we made them punt as much as we did. We just didn't stop them when that at the end there a couple times. But I'm never going to fault our kids' effort, and you can't coach speed. So that's what we rely on because we're not overly big. So that's just what we hang our hat on and let our kids play, and they run to the football like maniacs. That's what we hang our hat on.
I think one other point I'd like to make is a little bit of creativity in the running game, where you bring that H back. Usually it's Davis or maybe it's Zach Morrow or somebody, and you put him right behind. Looks like he's right between the guard and the tackle, and and he's right up on the line. And I see where you want him to to get a block, to seal the edge, and either Norris is going to try to go around or cut it back inside like he did on that touchdown. I haven't seen a lot of teams quite put him there, so that's just interesting to look at, but it looked like it was pretty effective on some of those Norris runs last night.
I'll tell you what, early on in the season, we struggled running the football because we just, Silas Tate is not playing this year because he got hurt right there at the end of last year, and Hunter was pretty much the only kid we had that could do that, so we didn't put him in there because we didn't want him playing both ways. But, we got into conference and we started adding that more into our offense. And Hunter's a tough kid. He plays middle linebacker and he plays that H-back for us, and that's not an easy job to do that, especially on a night like we had last night where that kid's, constantly just up in there. And I'm proud of him because I don't think he came off the field last night.
Yeah, he sealed the edge on that touchdown. I know you're going to see that on film. That defensive end came free. Hunter there from the H-back takes him out, and that just opens up the crease, and then Norris ran right behind him, so he did a good job on that play. And that's kind of the stuff that fans don't talk about enough, but if that doesn't happen, then we don't get to watch Norris run in the end zone.
Yeah, they know. I was an offensive lineman. I know exactly what you're talking about. Those kids, they don't hardly ever get their name in the paper, but our kids battled up front last night. Jackson Bivens and Jesse Love, they blocked their tails off along with Hunter. So
yeah,
they did a great job. Opened up a lot of running room for Jeremiah.
Well, Coach, I know that you're tired, you're exhausted, and you got a bunch of film to watch. So we just appreciate you taking Saturday morning to call in. And good luck. Go Bulldogs. Hopefully get you a victory against the Ironmen next Friday night at Cherryville. It's going to be a close game. I want to tell our fans that they're going to have a raffle there at halftime. So see somebody over there, buy some tickets. They're raising a little money over there. So I know that a lot of our communities are connected, Burns and Cherryville. A lot of the kids know each other. So it's going to be fun going down there next week.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all having me on. Go Bulldogs.
All right. Thank you, Coach Devine. Coach Devine of the Burns Bulldogs called in the last couple of weeks. I appreciate that. You can tell he's a little hoarse this morning.
Yes.
so it's just a wild game, and
all right, JP.
Had to get that win to set up.
All right, JP, we got to go. We'll be back in a few minutes. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Texas Motor Speedway.
Allgaier tries to get to the back bumper of Cindric. He won't get it done.
It's the Andes Frozen Custard 335.
A.J. Allmendinger dives to the bottom of the racetrack, slides up. They make contact. They slide down the front stretch. Cindric runs into Allmendinger at the stripe, and it is going to be A.J. Allmendinger winning the race.
The Andes Frozen Custard 335. Saturday, October 16th at 2:30.
On Carolina Country WCSL 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at KDCBroadcasting.com.
When it comes time to make a purchase, shop local. When you shop local, you're putting money back into our local